you work a lot with teams too, sometimes smaller teams within a bigger organization or even like your startups. And you've seen some that are high performing and you probably still like working with them to see what they're doing, right? And share ideas. Yeah. But there's something that separates that high performance team and the one that's maybe even just identified they want to take it to the next level, haven't done it yet. What do you see as like maybe one or two of those things that separate a high performance team from one that's trying to achieve that level?
Yeah. I think high performance for an individual or for a team is on a spectrum.
Yeah.
It's almost like, this is why I'm certified in yoga therapy. And I did that not to teach yoga, but just for my own practice. Sure. But it really grounded me in the sense that like you never really arrive in your practice, right? So let's look at it on a spectrum. There's no team nowhere. Like everybody talks about like how great it is to work at Google.
Yeah.
Like the grass is not greener on the other side. It's a different color and there's always dog poop in the yard because there's humans involved.
Yeah. Right.
So what we need is for people to be aware that this is an imperfect environment. So we can strive. I want you to strive for a high performing team and I want you to strive to be a high performing individual. But I want yourself to give yourself the realistic grace that this is a practice that you're never going to give up. But if I had to poke at maybe 4 things, I'll give you 4 C's.
Okay. Yeah.
What I think you can do to get better and get further along on that spectrum. First one is clarity. It's got to be the clarity of those foundational concepts I talked about earlier. What is your purpose? That doesn't change, right? What is your mission? What's the current hill you're climbing, right? Nike for a while wanted to beat Reebok, right? You can have a competitive mission, but let that be the carrot that your whole team and company goes after together, right? So purpose, mission, values, and then take your values a bit further, make them behaviors, really spell out. I could say my value is, one of ours is we bob and weave. What does that actually mean?
Yeah.
Right? In operation, it looks like this, it doesn't look like this. When a client wants it looks like this. When a fellow employee wants this, it doesn't look like that, right? So we really get descriptive. So that clarity of all those foundational concepts are going to be really important. After you have the clarity, the second C would be communication. You've got to communicate that stuff over and over and over again. Become storytellers, right? That is so important inside the organization. And if you could invest in a skill building for your people, storytelling is going to be one of the things that you should, right? Like, how do we talk about our values together? How do we bring stories of our clients to life? So communication and doing it often and in a variety of ways. One-on-ones, team meetings, fireside chats. What are those things? Repeat.
Right.
Because we're humans and not everybody hears the same message. So clarity, communication. And then my last 2 are the ones that I think are barriers that people point at sometimes, but don't really know how to address. They want to go after capability, which is your skill level, but before you can get capability, you have to address capacity.
Yes, right.
If we do not look at capacity inside an organization, we're done, because most organizations are overloaded. They're overloading their people, they're overloading their own goals.
Yep.
So like I just worked with an executive team the other day. They had 7 big goals that they wanted to work on. I was like, this is too big. We've got to pull it back. I want no more than 4. They got to be big, and we're not doing the sneaking all these little ones under the big ones, right? We're going to really focus. And then when we're done with those, then we're going to go to the next one, right? So we've got to get that capacity of, we need more breathing space. We should not be waking up at 4 a.m. and working till midnight.
Right.
And if that works for you, if you're on your own and that works and that's your own personality of the hustle,
probably doesn't work, but okay.
Right, we could argue that for sure. I'm not going to try to talk you out of something that you personally are like happy with.
Right.
For example, when I didn't have kids, I was working long hours.
Yep.
I was also going out a lot too. I lived a very different life then.
Yeah.
So like from a capacity perspective, it's all about just clearing space, making sure that I have enough breathing room, enough room to get the work done that you're asking me to do. Oh, and by the way, enough room to also think innovatively or creatively and add value both into the company and in myself. That's the entrepreneurial culture. And then so that capacity, that's our third C. Now we can get to capability. Now we can get to capability when I've told you where we're going, when I've communicated it well, when I've created some breathing room for you. Now we're going to talk about what's missing or what needs to be enhanced about your skill set so that you can maximize your impact. Not because you should stay or go. I really want to help you as an individual. That's good leadership. Helping you as an individual maximize your impact now, which will likely and almost always get you to your best next, whatever that might be.
Right.
So I would say those 4 things, clarity, communication, capacity, and capabilities, really important to move further along on that spectrum. And when you go backward, because we will, right?
My team went backward.
My team went backward in 2019. I had a huge surgery. So we took a couple steps back, and then pandemic kept, and we kind of took a little step. I don't know where we went. Maybe we took a few steps forward, maybe we went back. But, then you go like, no problem. We're human.
Yeah.
we're gonna be fluid. So now how do we recommit to those things to get that clarity, communication, capacity, and capability?
Yeah.